am super excited to introduce my guest. He is a talented young actor. You may know him from his breakout role on the hit TV series Stranger Things, playing the part of young Henry Creel on season 4. I want to welcome Raphael Luce to the podcast. Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
So I created this podcast to inspire young artists to follow their dreams. If a kid like me can come out to Hollywood at 18 with $200 in my pocket and a one-way ticket, not knowing a soul out here, and making the dream a reality. I've been a working actor for over 35 years. You know, why can't the listener out there, if a kid like you can have a dream to become an actor and now be on a hit TV series, it's possible.
Oh, it is absolutely especially like I started like that. We did auditions every week. We went to 17 auditions, like, because my brother and sister are also in the business. So before COVID, there was all in person. So we had to drive everywhere all the time. And we had a lot of auditions. We didn't get everyone. We just kept on auditioning. And it only takes one audition to get it and to change your life. I mean, for Stranger Things, I probably did like 50 auditions before I got Stranger Things. But like, it takes so much time and effort, and you gotta not give up because it only takes one audition. So when we got it, I remember it was 3. We did it at my manager's office, the last one, the callback. And it was just incredible because after a week, they told us that I got the job. And it was just a surreal experience because I just couldn't believe it because I knew how big the show was. And that's what really amazed me because I never thought I could be in a show like that. But it's just, you just gotta keep on auditioning. Even if you don't get it, don't get discouraged because it only takes one audition. So you gotta keep working at it.
That's great advice. I tell my actors all the time, you know, I have an acting school in Manhattan Beach called the Manhattan Actor Studio. And, you know, I have actors that, you know, they've gone out on hundreds of auditions and they're frustrated and they're coming to me and they're thinking of quitting. And I tell them all the time, it just takes one. It's the very next audition. You know, some people quit when they're on the 1 yard line. They're about to score a touchdown, but they don't know it and they give up. And it could be the next audition.
And you know, there's a funny story. I don't know if you know the show Friends.
Sure.
The person who plays Phoebe in the show, she had done hundreds of auditions before then and didn't get a single one. And she was about to quit. She was about to leave New York or something, and she was about to leave. And she said, and she got an audition and she said, I'll just do one more, you know. And that one audition booked her on Friends, and now she's just good for the rest of her life. And it only took that one audition to get that.
I know, you know, I had a pilot that I did, it was called Matchmakers with an actress named Ava Gabor, and she was in the pilot and she had one line. She was a girl it was about a dating service trying to find a boyfriend, and she had literally one line in this thing, and, you know, boom, you know, she's on a hit TV series. You know, I had a series with Matthew Perry before Friends. Yeah, we had a series together. So, you know, it really, I know Matt LeBlanc. I mean, I knew Matt, you know, from running around Hollywood. We used to audition against a lot of the same roles together. And, you know, awesome. I knew, you know, he was struggling before, you know, landing that role on Friends. So literally it takes that one audition.
Yeah.
So I want to go back. When did you know that you wanted to be an actor?
So my parents have always been in the business. My parents do stunts in movies. And so they do stunt doubling, all that kind of stuff. So I was a kid, and I remember we were in France, I think, and they were leaving to do some shoots, and I think I asked if we could start doing acting and stuff, and we said, yeah, we can think about it. And then we went to Los Angeles for a while, and some of my friends did acting. I thought it would be so cool to do acting because my friends are doing it and my parents are already in the business. And it just started from then on. And my parents always said that they would feel so bad if they never gave me the chance of trying acting out. And we just started doing it. All of us, we just started auditioning, and it turned out really well.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, you got pretty cool parents.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure to hang out with them. We have, as an actor myself, when I'm on sets and shooting a movie, I don't really hang out with the actors, afterwards. I kind of hang out with the stunt people because they're more fun, they're cooler.
Yeah.
And one of my friends, who's my best friend, is Andy Dillon.
Yeah.
And it was Andy's 50th birthday, and I met your parents, in Cancun, Mexico, and hanging out with that crazy crew of stunt people, and it's like the circus came into town.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. So I'm just curious. So your dad is tight wire.
He's a high wire walker. He started the high wire at this small circus camp in Vermont called Circus Smirkus. And he started at 14, and he's been doing it ever since. He had his teacher. His name is Rudy. Rudy, I can't say his last name, but he just is Omenkowski. Rudy Omenkowski. But he's been doing high wire ever since. And he just invented a new thing called firewire. It's pretty much it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the high wire on fire, and he walks across it, and he does a couple of tricks. He also rides the bike on it, and he's been doing it his whole life. And actually, he met my mom at Cirque du Soleil doing high wire. And yeah, my mom was a gymnast for 18 years, and they just met at Cirque du Soleil doing circus stuff. Yeah.
So I saw him on was it America's Got Talent Extreme?
Yeah, American Got Talent Extreme. Actually, it's funny because it was so weird getting. I heard my dad he got the part for. Well, he got casted for the. I don't know how it happened, how he got into American's Got Talent, but it was awesome. It was really fun seeing him up there.
Does it make you nervous?
I'm used to it by now. He's done a lot of shows, but yeah, it's always a little nerve-wracking when he's up there, But I know he's a professional. He's been doing this whole life, so I trust him.
So you grew up around. I mean, I heard you were set on fire.
Oh yeah, I did. Well, we have a couple of friends in Los Angeles who are also stunt people, and they had this stunt camp, and we started. The whole week was about doing, stunt fights, ratchets. Ratchet is when you get pulled with a line onto a mat or something, flips and all that. And at the end of the week, you could do a fire burn with professionals, of course. You'd put this suit on that is like dipped in gel and slimy goo that's very cold. And when you were done putting on the suit, you're so freezing that you just can't wait for them to set you on fire, But yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome. So you got a lot of special skills. You got a lot of talent there.
Yeah, I've done stuff. I'm kind of doing acting, and I love doing stunts too. So I'm like in between, but.
Yeah. So you were born into this talented family. Tell me about, you have siblings that are in the business too, right?
Yeah, my sister works on a show called General Hospital. It's a soap opera that's been doing shows and episodes for like 50 years. It's awesome. And my brother has done a couple stuff in Seaburg and a couple other shows. But yeah.
Very cool. I had a character on General Hospital.
Yeah?
Yeah, I played a gangster on it for
nice.
a while. So, okay. So now you want to be an actor. You tell your parents, I want to be an actor, and you come out to LA, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me how, like, you got your first agent? What was your first part?
I remember some stuff. I forgot what was my first part. I think it might have been Moon Manor. It's this movie that came out a couple years ago. I think that was the first, but how we got to LA is actually a cool story. we were in Vermont and we bought a bus. It's like an RV slash bus, and we actually drove it cross country for like 3 months, and we got to Los Angeles, our destination, and we parked at a friend of ours, and that's where we started doing audition. We started taking classes, and we got our first agent with I think it was Paloma or something, and it all started from there. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you said you studied your craft. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I went to this acting school called Young Actors Studio.
Mhm.
I did it for a couple months and it was really fun. I learned a lot there, and I think that really helps me. And I would really recommend any actor or actress to start there. I think
Study
that
your
would,
craft. Yeah.
yeah,
That's great. So what kind of stuff did you learn in acting class?
just how to how to imagine yourself in that moment. Also imagining it before you're doing the shot really helps sometimes, just sitting down and imagining the story in your head. And I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to explain,
Well,
but
you really had to use your imagination on
yeah,
Stranger Things. I mean, you had like a black widow crawling on your hand, right? But there was
yeah,
no black widow there.
no, just some black dots on your arm, all CGI. But the funny thing with Stranger Things is that when I was on there, they didn't tell me anything about my character. I had no idea. So the first day they didn't, like, for a long time they didn't tell us anything because they didn't want anyone to leak the story. If you're not like a main actor, if you're not 11 or Mike or like one of the main crew. But we had to do our own Sherlock Holmes investigation on set, asking people about my character. And I didn't know until they tattooed 001 who I actually was.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And I heard you had to keep that a secret for a while because of the pandemic. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I started doing Stranger Things when I was 12, and I think it came out when I was 15, so just a couple months ago. And it was just a long 3 years of not being able to say anything. But the funny story is that when we started, we did a year of shooting before COVID happened, and then all of production stopped. We had to just quit for a year, and then when we came back, everyone had grown like 5-6 inches, so everyone had to get new costumes, get new shoes. So it was funny.
I heard
Seeing
you
them
had
grow like that.
I heard you had to get your first shave too.
Oh yeah, I got my first mustache shave on the set, and it's funny because the person who did it apparently has shaved all the kids on Stranger Things. I can't even call them kids anymore; they're adults. But like, she shaved all their first shaves of all the kids that worked on there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How was it coming on to an established show? I mean, the show, was already a hit show. It's been on for 4 seasons. You're the new guy coming in. How did they treat you?
Honestly, I felt the first couple weeks or days, I felt a little weird and a little bit like, I don't know, alone, but like unease. Like, I'm not used to this. I don't know anyone here. But then I remember, I think it was the first day or the one of the first days in the week that I was there. Me and my dad were on set, and I think I got to meet Gaten on set. I think it was at Crafty or something, and we talked a little bit. And no, it's not Crafty. It was we were doing school, and he was in there, and I got to talk to him. He was really nice. And when we had a break for lunch, we went to lunch, and he invited me to the table with all the main characters, all the kids, and it was really nice because I got to talk to them all, and they're awesome people. And then I felt more included, but it was really cool.
Can we talk about the audition for Stranger Things? Was that an in-person or a self-tape?
It was a self-tape. I remember I had to sit in a chair. I had a couple lines, and I had to start getting freaked out because there was a monster running at me just at that moment, and I had to scream really loud. And then I did the self-tape, the callback, the avail, and then the job.
So you were booked right off the self tape and the callback via what, Zoom, or was it in person?
No, none of it was Zoom. It was all self-tape. So we did the same scene like 3 times, and then we just waited a week until they told us.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you never went in to meet anybody in person. Everything was done via self tape.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you feel about self tapes?
Honestly, I kind of prefer them than in person, but there's some benefits because you can redo your tape if you messed up. You can always redo it as many times as you want, because sometimes it takes a while to get the perfect tape. So that's nice to be able to do that. But it's also nice to be able to meet the casting people and talk to them and have that connection. But it is what it is.
So you put yourself on tape for an initial self tape, and then they made you do a self tape for a callback. Did they give you direction at all between those two?
I think they gave us a couple directions on the last one. They gave us a couple directions, just make it more scary or more emotion, and then I think that's how it happened. Yeah.
So you didn't know you would be playing this evil character at all?
I think I knew that it was something for Stranger Things, but I had no idea what it was for. Yeah.
And how was it for you playing this character that, was mostly in flashback, right? I mean, everything was flashback.
Yeah. It was all flashback. I'm a little bummed that it was all flashback because I wanted to be able to work with the crew, but it is what it is. But it was, at least I got to meet them. It was fun. But it was a cool experience being able to wear those old fashioned clothes with shoes and the hair and the house. It was just a weird experience and a really fun because I got to experience that. But all the people on set are very nice, and it was awesome.
Who directed you in that?
The Duffer Brothers.
How was it working with the Duffer Brothers?
Oh, they're awesome. They know their craft so well. They know every scene, every little detail. Like, it's inspiring to work with them because they know exactly what they're doing, and they're very good at what they do, and they were awesome.
Yeah, I just recently watched their master class. They have a master class on how they created Stranger Things. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's yeah, the program Master Class. They have all these great teachers, Samuel Jackson talking about acting, Martin Scorsese talking about directing, and they're on there. And I watched their master class, and it was awesome. Really creative guys, smart guys.
That's awesome. I'll look at it.
So boom, like that, life has changed for you, right? I mean, before the audition for Stranger Things, I don't know. I'm TikTok, social media. I don't know how many follows did you have before Stranger Things?
I think on Instagram I had 600. On TikTok I had 16,000, and then after Stranger Things, after the first week or something, everything went up to like 2 million and 300K, and it was just
wow.
It was just surreal. I had no idea I would be that big because, I mean, let's be honest, I only have like 10 minutes of screen time, so I'm surprised I'm getting all this clout and all this like recognition off of this part. But it's just been incredible, and since that I've been able to go to conventions, do more things, and it's just been really cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a global hit TV show.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like
legendary. It's the biggest show.
Absolutely. Ever. And you play, you may only have, 10 whatever minutes on it, but you play the pivotal role. I mean, you're the origin, you're the beginning, you're 001, you're Vecna, right? You
Yeah,
know, that's a huge role.
thank you. Yeah,
So,
I didn't, but the thing is, I didn't know until I watched it, because I didn't know how big my part was or who I was until I watched the episodes. And when I watched the episodes, I was like, wait, what? That's me, and I had no idea about all of that. And it was just, it's a totally different experience watching it on an episode or watching yourself on a screen instead of doing it in the actual scene or doing the actual scenes, because it's just, it's a different experience because you see the whole backstory, but when you're doing it, it's not in order, you're just doing these specific scenes, and it's very different.
can we talk about that responsibility of having 2 million followers on TikTok? I mean, that's a
Yeah,
huge responsibility. I mean, you have an audience out there. You know, you got to be careful what you put out there.
yeah, I know. I've been, since then I'm like, oh my god, can I post this? Is this loud? It's a weird feeling, but I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to the jam, just how to do this. You have to post a couple times a week, and with all this, I'm getting some offers to do interviews and podcasts, and it's really cool. I love doing them, and it's a lot of fun. And I think because of this, it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Can we talk about, you're going to these conventions and there are screaming girls, and I mean, it's fame is a tricky thing. I mean, I know for me, it was a little hard to deal with.
Yeah, so a month ago I went to France for vacation for summer with my two best friends, Julian and Cooper, and they've never been, so it was really cool. We got to bring their families out, and we went to France to my mother's mother's house, so my grandma's house, and we also have a house further down in the south. But we first stayed in Paris, and it was really nice. And the week actually that we got there, we figured out that there was a convention in Paris, and so we contacted them if we could go. And we contacted them and we said, hey, Rafa just wanted to come and say hi to Millie, if that's okay. They got to work and they talked before, and they were like, no, you're not allowed to do that. That would upset the fans. If you want to come. And we're like, wait, what? So, and then they told us, if you want to come, you have to do all the signings, the photos, the autographs, the panels. And we're like, okay. I mean, that sounds like, so I got to do my first convention because of that. And it was just such a cool experience. I remember the day they came and picked us up in this van, and they brought us to the convention. And when we got to the door, I saw the thing, the convention area, and my friend taps me on the shoulder and says, Raphael, look to your right. And I look to my right, and there's a whole big crowd of people right there. And the van starts to stop, and I'm like, we're not going out there, are we? And all of a sudden we stop, and we're about to leave the van. And there's three bodyguards all of a sudden that they kind of like grab me and bring me inside. And there's people screaming, Raphael, Raphael. And when I got inside, I was shaking. I had no idea what just happened. I was like, whoa. Like, I had never experienced that. And it was a fun, exhilarating, but scary experience. I had no idea that's how it really was.
Yeah,
But
I know. I mean, I'll tell you a funny quick story is when I had my TV series, with Matthew Perry on Fox. When Fox first became a TV network, there was no Fox. When I came out, there was ABC, NBC, and CBS. So I was one of the first shows on the Fox network with 21 Jump Street with Johnny Depp and, Married with Children, all these shows that were brand new at the time. And we, do publicity stuff, go to a mall. I mean, it was just madness. I mean, I remember coming home to New York, and I was in LA doing the show, and I had no idea, how big my character was. Go ahead.
And that's a funny thing, because I saw, because when you look at social media and you see the followers, it's just numbers. Like, you don't actually see the people and you just see numbers. But when you get there and you see the crowd of people, there was 3,000 people in the audience. And that, if you saw that on the number, you'd be like, oh, that's not that many. But when you see it in real life and you see how many people are actually there, it's a totally different experience. And it's just, that was the weird thing, because I never got to see like who, it was like the Beatles, you know, they went to America and they had no idea all these people actually like knew them. And it was the same experience. Like I had no idea this many people actually knew me.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
I came home and I was in my mother's house in Brooklyn, and I was jet lagged. I went to take a nap. My mother said, Billy, come wake up, come here. She goes, look out the window. And I'll look out the window, and it's hundreds and hundreds of screaming girls like chanting, we want Booch, we want Booch. And they're going through my mother's trash cans. And then the police show up and they're trying to disperse the crowd. So I promised to go sign autographs at this church in the gymnasium. And, you know, I had called all my friends that I grew up with, these big bodybuilder guys, you know, like, we're going to protect me. You know, we show up to this place, you know, to sign order, and it's just a mob scene. There's thousands of screaming girls and, you know, jealous boyfriends because the girls are screaming, oh, Booch,
Yeah.
Booch, and the boyfriends were like, kill the Booch, you know. They were not happy. So, you know, I'm signing autographs, and it was very, you know, one at a time would come up and sign art. But after like 3 or 4 hours, I had to go to the bathroom. So I said, you know, I'm gonna be taking a little break, but the bathroom was across the gymnasium on the other side. So my friends decided they were going to, like, you know, part the crowd, and we were going to walk. And as we got down the stairs, it became like literally like pulling and like pulling trying to tear my clothes off me. So I panicked and I ran. Worst thing you can do, because they ran after us. So now we're running across the gymnasium. We get behind the door, right? And my friends are trying to hold the door back. And, like, you know, one of my friends says, I feel like one of the Beatles. You know, it was crazy. And then a police officer comes in from the other doorway, and he says, oh, yeah, I got it. He goes to handle, and he opens up the door, and they bum rush him. His hat goes flying in the air. We run out of the place. We jump into my friend's car, and they surround the car. Now they're banging on the hood. And, like, my friend's freaking out because his father's car is going, and I'm like, run him over, get us out of here. You know, it was madness. It was the scariest thing when you have all these screaming people banging on, you know. I can't imagine being, you know, Elvis Presley or Michael Jackson or, you know, Johnny Depp. You know, it's crazy.
Scary. It's scary, but, you know, there's so much adrenaline pumping for you after that. You're just, yeah, it's wild. But, you know, I'm just trying to imagine it. Sometimes I imagine it if I was the fan. I try to imagine, like, you know, when I'm doing all these conventions now. I've done 2, but I'm going to start doing them a lot now. I have one this weekend, but I'm just trying to imagine if she came out all the way to Florida or something, and she just wanted to meet Raphael or Henry Creel, and this is her dream or something. I'm trying to, like, think of how I would want that, or how I would want that meet and greet to be. And I want to make their money's worth or their time's worth to see them, you know. And yeah.
So where is this convention that's coming up?
So I have a couple going on. I have one in France in December. And then I have another one in Germany in November, I think. And I have one in Florida this weekend in St. Augustine. And then I think I have one in Liverpool, and I'm just starting to do these because we saw how it was in the France and Germany one, that we were like, oh, we'd love to start doing these, because apparently this is what actors do. A lot of, like, Marvel actors, or like people that if they're not working on set, they do conventions. And I was like, oh, this could be cool. So we're starting to sign up for all these Stranger Things conventions, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do them once in a while. You know, I have some movies that I've done back in the early 80s that are cult classics. I mean, the fan base is crazy. And when I go to these conventions, you know, and sign autographs and take pictures, you know, the fans are so excited to meet you. I mean, they're diehard fans. They've been fans for, you know, forever.
Yeah,
And just to be able to get to meet you and talk to you and take a picture with you is pretty awesome.
yeah.
So let's talk about fame. I mean, how has it changed for you? Do your friends treat you differently now that you're,
Um,
you know?
I mean, sure, my some of my friends are definitely happy for me, but honestly, for me, nothing really has changed except that now I do conventions and that people know me. That's honestly nothing really has changed except that. And I don't want to be one of those bratty actors, you know. I want to stay really humble, and I don't want to go down the dark side, you know. I want to be the cool actor, the nice actor, you know, that you can come up to and say hi.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. I mean, fame is a double-edged sword. I've seen a lot of actors. I've known a lot of actors. I've been in this game a long, long time. I know a lot of actors. You know, I remember Johnny Depp when he was still sleeping in his car when he came out to Hollywood, you know, before he was Johnny Depp. You know, I know a lot of actors. I was there the day River Phoenix passed away outside the Viper Club in Hollywood. Brad Renfro. I mean, a lot of actors that, you know, didn't have, you know, got into drugs and kind of ruined their life and destroyed their life. So, you know, it's important to remember where you come from, remember your family, to stay grounded.
Yeah,
Don't let the fame get to you, because it is a double-edged sword. And, you know, don't believe the hype, you know, just be you, stay you. You know, you come from a good family, you got, you know, good support around you. So just, you know, stay grounded.
and that's like one of the most important things in this business is to really have good people, good friends around you, because it can get tough. But like if you have good friends and family supporting you, then that's the best.
And it is a roller coaster ride. You know, it will go up and down. You will be over here and then you won't work for a while. And then you know, that's just the nature of the
You
beast.
it's not really a daily job. It's not always a day job, you know. It's a I have a job here for a month and then I won't work for like 3 months, and then I have this day here and that day there. It's never set in stone. And that's lately, well, actually our whole life it's been like that. We've always are hectic. We have like all five of us work in the business. It's, oh, this weekend we're going to LA. Oh wait, no, it changed. We're going today, or we're going to New Orleans. Oh, we're going to France. It's like it's crazy. Like I don't know how many planes we've taken in our whole lives, but it's more than we could ever count. It's insane because your schedule is never set in stone. It's pretty flow. You can go with the flow, you know. You have to get used to that.
Sure, especially, you know, your parents being in the stunt business, they get a call to do a film in New Orleans. Boom, we got to go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, if so, what, you know, you've been all over the place. I mean, you're traveling, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But you grew up in France.
I yeah, for the first couple years, I was born in Vermont and we moved to France. We bought a house there. So for a couple years we were there. Went to this school, but then we moved around again. We went to Los Angeles and we stayed there. But then we were just moving from Los Angeles to France, and when we were at Los Angeles, we were staying with friends and people, and then a couple of years ago, after we started doing acting and stuff, my dad started getting work in New Orleans, so we got a place here. We started moving from New Orleans to France to Los Angeles, and then we kept on. Everyone was working, so and when I got Stranger Things, we were actually in Atlanta filming. So we were moving from France to New Orleans to Los Angeles to Atlanta. It's just, yeah, it's hectic sometimes, but that's what you signed up for when you signed up for this. But
So you're home. So you're homeschooled.
I am. I don't think there's a part of me that could ever do school because of my schedule and how we work.
So what's that like?
It's tough, but you know, with the stuff you're doing with auditions every week, you know, you can't. For example, before COVID, if you were in school and you had an audition at 10 o'clock, but you're in school, you can't do it. That's why it's a lot easier when you're homeschooled, especially in the acting business and all that, because you can pause your school and go to that audition, do that, and then come back and work. So you can pretty much work whenever.
Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody who has a dream to become an actor and they just don't know?
Honestly, just don't give up, even if you think you're not getting any jobs, or just don't give up, because as we've been saying, it only takes one audition. Even if you've done 100 and you haven't got a single one, just keep on doing it until you get the job.
So, you know, people know you from Stranger Things, but what are some of the other roles that you've done?
I did a little character in Loki. That was pretty fun. And then I played a role in Moon Manor. And then I did a show called Chris and Friends. It was run or produced by one of my friends. So I've done a couple, but I haven't done that much, honestly. But that's why I'm just starting. I'm hoping I can get more jobs and start doing stuff.
I heard you work with Kiefer Sutherland and
oh yeah, that's
Gillian
another.
Anderson.
Yeah, the first lady. That was awesome. It was funny because there's a story when we were on set. My friend, my dad knows Keither from like, what are the shows?
24.
Yeah, 24. And so my dad has watched him for a while, and he was like all giddy when he saw that I was working with him. And it was funny because I was talking to him on set, and we were talking, and then all of a sudden Keith says, you know, your dad is cool, right? And I'm like, really? No, thank you. I mean, and I'm confused why he just said that randomly. But anyways, we keep on talking. And after I'm done talking with him, I go and tell my dad, did you say something to Keith? Because I had no idea why he had just said that. And he was like, wait, he said I was cool? So for like the whole week or two, my dad was like, you know, Keith thinks I'm cool, you know? So, but it was very funny. But he's such a nice guy. I hope I work with him again. And it was just a really cool experience.
Awesome. What do you see? What's the vision for the future?
You know, I just want to keep on doing acting. I really enjoy it, and hopefully I get like a TV show like Friends, you know, where you get to work every day with the same crew. You know, you feel like family at that point, because I know they worked like 10 years on that show.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it doesn't even feel like work. I mean, it is a whole bunch of work, but you are with a cast of friends like that. You just go to work every day. It's just like a big family. Everyone, you know, everyone, they're all cool. You're all your friends, you know. And I think I'd love to get a big TV show like that, or a couple movies. You know, I just want to keep on doing acting.
Yeah, it's definitely. When I did a TV series called Who's the Boss, which was a hit TV series, and I was on it for 3 years, and it really is like family, and it is probably one of the most fun shows I've ever worked on, because it wasn't even like work. It was playtime. You know, we were doing comedy, and you know, we were laughing all day long, and you know, we did the show in front of a live audience, you know, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Do you want to do comedy?
I would love to do some comedy, honestly. I'm not a big fan of horror stuff. I hate watching that stuff. So it was kind of ironic that I got Stranger Things. But I mean, I wouldn't mind getting jobs here and there, but I'd love to do comedy. You know, that's the only thing I watch, and it's just, I love watching stand-ups, you know, Joe Coy, Bert, you know, I just, it would be awesome to do more comedy, because I haven't done much. But. So
you're not a big horror fan. What's your favorite TV show? What are your favorite shows?
My favorite TV show is Friends, but well, we've always watched those types of shows like The Office or Modern Family or Scrubs. You know, just all those types of shows I've loved.
So what is it you want your fans to know about you that people maybe they don't know?
I don't know. That I'm a very down to earth guy. I'm not some unreal person. I'm just a normal person. So, I don't want people to think I'm some big superhero. I'm not like some out of earth terrestrial alien person. That's just I'm Rafa. I'm just a normal guy who's just like you.
Love that. Raphael, I can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast.
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
Yeah, awesome. And I wish you, I have no doubt you're going to be very successful in this business because you have a good head on your shoulders. And it's really, it's a roller coaster, but if you have a dream, then you have to go after that dream with a vengeance, and you're going to get knocked down, you're going to get rejected, and you're going to get no's. But, I believe every no brings you closer to a yes, and you got to keep getting some no's and keep staying in it and following your dream, following your passion, and the dream will come a reality.
That's awesome.
So take care. Send my love to your family, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.